huh? Unbound training block. Everyone acts like it's this big thing. It's just normal training, it's a little longer. I'm like, do we risk it for the biscuit and go all the way up Jamestown? Wait, that's probably risky. Oh, Sophie's here to help. Sophie, you want to be in the video now? Safe route. Sophie doesn't want to be on camera ride. Welcome to a video where we answer all your questions about the Unbound 200 and during a 5-hour ride. We're here to demystify training for Unbound. So a lot of people want to think that training for the Unbound 200 means you're riding 10 hours a day and doing these massive epic rides. It's actually a lot simpler than that. It's a lot of stacking days on top of days. It's a couple longer rides, but like for me it's 6 or 7 hours. And it's focusing on nutrition and equipment and trying to figure out the best way through the race. It's definitely unique, but it's not something that disrupts the entire training week. Route loaded, workout loaded. It says 5 hours, don't go too hard.
Really, you ready?
Let's go. I'm hot. Really hot. I'm gonna go get naked. I feel so much better now.
Wind me up, put me down, stop me up and watch me.
Oh, really looking good.
I'll be running circles around you sooner than you know. A little off center and I'm out of tune. Just kicking this can along the avenue, but I'm alright.
1 hour in, let's answer some questions. This is what I love. So many flavors of Gatorade. So many colors of sugar. I'm just gonna get 3, you know, because I deserve it. I don't know why, I've ridden an hour and I deserve it.
Oh my God.
Each is
So sweet.
Thank you, have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.
Which one of these is the most potent?
Apple will change your DNA.
Natural cherry flavor. This comes from Zach. What gram per hour do you shoot for heading into a race like Unbound? How much of that is hydration? What is the gram per hour of sodium you look to get? On the high end, I'm gonna aim for 120-ish grams of carbs per hour. That will definitely be front-ended, where the first 5 hours I'm really focused on maybe getting in 130 to 135, knowing that my body will become less efficient and won't be able to process carbs as easily as we get toward the end of the race. Even for the pros, 10 hours is a really long day. So you got to remember, you have to want to eat at the end, and if I can still get in 100 grams of carbs at the end of the day, that's success. Hydration. I'd say probably half of that's hydration. I'll probably take in every feed stop, I'll be grabbing a bottle of 100 grams of carbs. Over the course of the day, probably 600-ish grams of carbs will come from bottles. Beyond that, I would say it's all going to be a little bit of real food, a little bit of gels, chews, anything I can get excited about. So grams per hour of sodium. I'm lucky. I'm a very neutral sweater. I was lucky enough to get my sodium content checked a couple years ago. I sweat about 1,056 milligrams per hour. That is right down the middle of the line, so it's something I don't really worry about unless it's super hot. If I'm going into a really hot Unbound, I'll go in and add a little bit of sodium to my high carb bottles, knowing that I want to add that sodium in, but otherwise I'm getting enough just off what I'm eating and what I'm drinking to get through the day. What tools do you keep handy, mounted on the bike or in your pockets? Versus what do you keep in a bag in storage? And then what do you have at the aid station? These are all great questions. On me when I'm racing, it's very simple. Typically it's my Allen keys in case something were to come loose or I have to adjust something on the fly, and a CO2 with plugs on it and a CO2 head. That's about it in my pockets. Usually in the bike storage or in my saddlebag, I'll have a tube, I'll have tire levers, I'll have extra CO2s. That's mainly like, hey, I have to go with the bike, I have to mess with my bike, I have to fix things, take a wheel out, X, Y, Z. And then pretty much the feed zone is pretty simple. It's extras of all of that. It's, hey, I burned through 3 CO2s in my pocket, I need to grab a new one with a new head. So I just have an extra whole set of that. Hey, I use my saddlebag in a tube, let's change the wheel, and I'm gonna grab a new saddlebag so I just can redo this. It's about being prepared for the unknown. Hopefully I don't have a day like that, but if I do, it's a lot easier to leave the feed zone knowing you are prepared again for another flat, rather than being like, why am I carrying this empty saddlebag around? How do you choose between equipment options? Is it purely what you think is fastest, or does your competitors and what they run make a difference in what you choose? No questions asked for me at this point. It's about what my competitors are running, but secondly, it's also about how do I think I can win the race? All of us are different. Some of us have a great sprint, some of us have a better endurance, some of us are more efficient, some people like Matt Beers, for example, just have a massive diesel and can ride people off the wheel. So where do I think it works best for me? When I look at a race like Unbound, it's gonna be out of a small group that I can win from. So I wanna set up a bike that's gonna be with those people around me. So I'll probably look to Keegan, I'll look to Russell, look to Matt Beers, what are they running? And then know that they have probably a little more bike skill than I have. They're probably a little better at being easy on their equipment and light on their tires. So my goal for Unbound is don't flat and deal with the rest. Biggest equipment change would be if it's super muddy, I'd go to a smaller tire than I'm gonna run currently because I wanna just, I'd rather have a rougher ride and make sure I can clear mud as opposed to focusing on comfort and lack of flatting. So, sounds like Alan and some of the riders might be coming down the hill behind the moto. So I might just try to add that into the ride. We'll follow them for a bit and spin the legs and then go from there.
Guests.
It's always good for the video. No one wants to see me and Willie all day.
Shut up, hush your mouth. Can't you hear you talk too loud? No, I can't hear nothing 'cause I got my head up in the clouds. I fired up anything that I can.
Said they were racing. When's the racing start? They were doing team time trials.
Nobody should be able to do that with a dog.
Oh yeah.
What's up? Hey!
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to be seen. Where's my boy Bert?
What are you training for, man?
Keep moving, you know. Hardtopack.com.
These guys are moving pretty fast, so it is just all about race simulation. We're trying to get some riders ready for nationals. We're trying to get some riders ready for a block of racing in Spain. We're trying to get some riders ready for Unbound. So intensity matters, and that point in a race where everything breaks apart, if you don't make the splits, it doesn't matter if you can ride 200 miles by yourself.
That's a cute little pocket you got there. Put your drugs in there.
Caffeine
It's got a
pills.
little snap. Oh, don't drop the weed gummies.
Ready?
Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, this is funny. This is where Alexi pretends like he's a party guy. He's not a party guy.
Don't litter, Alex. We're gonna go down that way and get back on the dirt because that was boring.
We're getting rid of them?
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
leaving
boring.
them now?
That was so boring.
Dude, those tires are fast, huh? Ken does everybody.
You can't stop now, it's already begun. You feel it running through your bones. Jerk it out.
Will wants to know how many times realistically will you pee in Unbound?
Once.
One time.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that if it's not super hot, or if it is super hot, I don't know, you just kind of deal with it. I think the unglamorous side of peeing off the bike, most people don't mention, for a guy, is you pretty much pee on your shoe. Surprisingly, my right shoe's not yellow. Yeah, you just can't with the wind. Pee as hard as you can, and you're moving, it just blows backwards.
Okay, Mudfest Unbound or dry and dusty?
Mudfest, no question. Might not be better for me, but I think the pictures afterwards are epic. I'm in it for the content. You guys should know that by now. This is like my favorite stop on a ride. You gotta stock up on honey. Dean's the man. You just Venmo him, and it is the best creamed honey you've ever had in your life. That is how I make my girlfriend like me. Okay, let's answer some questions. Question 4 comes from Joe. He's making a joke, but he's asking if I'm gonna run the same tire setup that I've run at Big Sugar, Sea Otter, yada yada. I've come to love it, and tires are very personal. It's what the company you like makes and what fits your type of riding style. He asked if I'm gonna run a Rush front and a Crusher rear. Most likely yes. Leaning toward the 2.2 front, measures a little bit small, and a 50mm rear, gives me a lot of cushion, gives me some traction. I'll play around with a couple other options, but that's the go-to right now. Where can one acquire an Avery?
Oh,
It's from Rob. Also, he wants to know, has Willie ever peed on me? Luckily not.
in the bag.
I think just in general, but yeah, neither. He's never peed on me.
Where do you acquire me? In the depths of Flint, Michigan.
In the DMs in Michigan.
Yeah.
Ethan, what are your thoughts on mixing a super potent bottle of high carb, say 500ml bottle with 400 grams of carbs? I don't know that that's possible.
I think you'd be chewing your drink
I think
mix.
you'd be chewing your drink mix. I do like the idea of a very potent bottle, but potent to me is like 150 grams of carbs, as opposed to something that is really hard to get down. I think there's also ways of doing it, like pure maple syrup has a lot of carbs. or just a gel flask, you know, that you can get a lot of sugars into. I think drink mix itself is meant to be mixed into water. Okay, this is from Roscoe. How tired is Avery?
I'm not tired anymore. I had a week off. I went to New York City. We're good. 1 week reset is all you need.
How do I manage time as a producer, business owner, privateer, athlete?
Wow,
Is it highly structured, or do you just go with the flow? I think the easiest way to say this is a lot of the stuff you see is planned very far in advance. When Avery and I first started planning a year, even down to almost the title of a video, we're talking about in October and November, December, about what we want to do in the year, how many videos we want to make, and then starting to plan out how it looks. And I'm booking hotels. We're talking about how many people we're going to have at the houses. We're booking flights. All of that's booked at least 6 months in advance. So that's kind of off my plate by the time we get toward race. My job as an athlete, I feel like, is intermittent and changing, but I am very serious about my time on the bike. Once I'm on the bike, I very rarely take calls or texts, very focused on what I'm doing. And then once I'm off the bike, that time is for everything else. I tend to prioritize it by what's coming first or what's next. If I'm working on something from the ground up, it is constantly either interfacing with Avery about that or other parts of the film crew, and then connecting with partners. And then if it's about Alexi and Avery's YouTube channel, I spend that time on that. I try to chunk my day up so that a morning is for Alexi and Avery, then I go ride, and then the evening's for something else. Lists help. I'll finish that off with, I think physical lists are the best thing you can do for time management. If you struggle, write a list down and start checking things off. And it's okay to write easy things down. If you need to start the list off with make your bed, start there. It feels great. How many hours a week are you on the clock, so to speak? Whenever I'm not sleeping. Yeah, I mean, I think on the clock, we'll answer it both ways. On the clock, I think I'm working until I'm in bed. On the bike, it varies a lot. For Unbound specifically, we start building up into about a 30 to 33 hour week. Nothing crazy, but it's a lot of just consistency throughout the season up to this point. To pretend like the Unbound training block is actually just now in May is a lie. It's a build starting in December up till now. True consistency through Sea Otter. We didn't want to peak. We want to grow all the way up to June, and from there take a break for the summer. How often do you do PT and strength? This has been something I've been really focused on the last 2 years. First I started with Derek Thiel at Dialed Health online, and slowly found that I really enjoyed doing it in person. So Sophie and I started going to someone here in Boulder named Jeff Hubler, who's been a friend for a long time. He's awesome. Throughout the entire winter, did strength 2 times a week. In the season, when I'm home, do it also 2 times a week. I have daily stuff that I also do on top of that, just activation and mobility and movement. It's been really great for me just to overall be a durable human, which I think is important, and then also be able to carry strength throughout the whole year that I think is really valuable for some of these gravel climbs that you have to stay in the saddle. You can't get out. What are your pre-ride activations? Oof. See, like I said, I have daily stuff from Jeff. Do I actually do it every day? Probably not. Pre-ride activations to me are a little bit of jumps, a little bit of movement. I'm not the guy standing behind the van with an elastic band around my knees. I think you need to feel good mentally, physically. I like to spin up a little bit, make sure the bike's working, but I'm not a big pre-ride activation guy. I should probably do more. I think it's great for you. What do you do for you? Hobbies outside of cycling. This is honestly my hobby outside of cycling right now. It sounds crazy, but there's something special about having this dream with your friend and just kind of living it. I do other things. I really enjoy food. I love going to great restaurants. I love getting a good drink. I enjoy dressing up. I love a good bow tie. But this consumes a lot of my time off the bike. Avery and I are constantly scheming and thinking and how do we build something, and this channel is definitely about cycling because that's what we do right now, but we don't want it to be about that. We want to be able to go places and do things and have the bike be part of that, but hopefully this transcends and becomes something that isn't just about the races, that we go take on the divide together, or I support Avery doing the Unbound 350 because I think that'd be funny.
You said it, not me.
It's stuff like that. I think it's what I'm excited about. The minute I stop racing a bike, I'm going to play adult league hockey again because I miss hockey like a lot.
And do this a lot more.
Yeah, we're going to film on the ice rink. Ta-ta for now.
Up we go.
Another mistake people make. They do all the training for nutrition, they do all the training themselves. They forget to actually put their pack on their back and ride with it. It's heavy, it gets annoying. I'm always using Willie instead of a pack right now, but that weight, that 5, 6, 7 pounds, however big you're going, on top of your core is really easy to wear you out. First 2-3 hours, you might think, oh, whatever. 4, 5, 6, 7, it's your back and your neck and your shoulders. You hold tension because you're not used to carrying that weight. So fill that puppy up as much as you can. You know, if you're like, oh, I don't need it, I don't care. Fill it up, make it heavy, ride with it. Woo! Oh yeah. Holy shit. Oh yeah. 5 hours today is some people would consider boring. It's like my favorite, just capping away. Probably averaging like 220 overall right now. The climb's like 270, 280. Flats like 230, 240. Maybe a little less. And just enjoy the descents. Look around, enjoy the surroundings.
Beautiful day, huh?
It is.
Yeah. You got a good area to walk up here.
Yes. Yeah, there are enough steep hills to get your leg muscles stronger. Since my 6 back surgery.
Woo! Not easy.
Might not look like it, but I'm doing 300 watts. I'm 3.5 hours in, which is giving us ample time. Best part of these questions, I got them early, so I've had time to think about them so I don't look stupid on camera. Can you talk about the mental aspect of racing 200 miles? I feel like so few of us get a view into the cognitive space of a true pro who is in the lead of the pack at a race like Unbound. Especially when your result can deeply impact your livelihood, the lead up to the race, the week of the race, the night before, the morning of, etc. I would argue beyond training going successfully, not getting sick, not crashing, all the normal stuff, the mental aspect of being fresh and ready for Unbound is the most important part. I was talking to Alex Howes today, actually, when we were on that ride, and I was saying, you gotta be kind of fresh going into Unbound. And he was like, oh, you mean mentally? Yeah, you're mentally, right? And I was like, yeah. Like, you have to be so ready for whatever's thrown at you, and then 10 hours of all-out suffering. So going into the race is really about trying to prepare for that. It's about understanding what you're about to get into. It's believing that you're fit enough, and it's being able to execute a plan that you've set and understand that there's contingencies. It might not all go your way. I've yet to do Unbound and not flat. So hopefully this is my year, but I'm going in with that mindset of, hey, something's gonna go wrong. Let's be prepared to fix it. This one's gonna be an easy answer. Say you decide to ride a single speed. What gear ratio would you be? I have zero clue. It's not at all anything I've thought about in the last 2 years. I'm very impressed by anybody who does it. Not my choice of bike for Unbound. How does your training change from, say, Sea Otter to Unbound? What are your weeks looking like, TSS and hours wise? Do you change anything nutrition wise leading into a bigger race like that? I think this goes for the whole Grand Prix. We try to find a base in the early season where I feel good and fit and strong, and then from there we adapt to every single race. So going into Sea Otter, we knew we needed some punch, we knew it was steep climbs, the race was going to be one on lookout. So we started at the end to do a lot of like 3 to 4 minute efforts that are really high, 450 to 500 watts. Going into Unbound, we're kind of going the opposite direction. We know we need that high-end fitness. I'm still gonna have to make sure I have a sprint because that's what the race is gonna be won at. But a lot of the focus is on a good amount of tempo, a good amount of time at 300 watts, and just above it. So that very low threshold area, I'm trying to teach my body to be efficient and be ready for the whole race. Then you juxtapose that with a Leadville up at super high altitude, or a Swamigan that's 40 miles. We'll change and adapt for those races and be ready for those bikes. So even if I'm on a road ride, you'll see me on a gravel bike now, just to make sure I feel fit and ready and the bike feels great. About to head up Logan Mill, one of my favorite climbs in Boulder. We'll descend back down to town and then finish up with a gym workout. Okay, so we made it to the gym. It's only 13 minutes late. Not too bad considering we were on top of a mountain less than 45 minutes ago. Goal of today is a little bit of quick speed, a little bit of activation, making sure that everything's firing after a long ride. And you guys get to meet Jeff, who is the master magician behind this.
Oh shit! It's really up to you if you want to go up. Alexi and I are friends, and beyond that, I am a strength and conditioning coach for him. Yeah, Alexi decided to go full in. He wanted to integrate a little more strength into his program and get a little bit more formal. It was a pretty dynamic workout. We're still doing some power work, working on just quickness, really being crisp and clean. I incorporate a lot of crossing patterns, elasticity, because it's also fun. Keep it clean, folks. High, and just snap, okay? This is called anger management.
No, the real question is, whose face am I imagining? Keegan. No! In today's video, we're gonna call someone out. You're gonna ruin our channel.
Thankfully, Alexi came in with a pretty good base, but there were some chinks in the armor, so we spent a lot of time working on structural integrity and the ability to handle loads and not deform his body. You know, he's coming up for the big part of his season, the Unbound's coming up, and we want to make sure that we do just the right amount, but not too much. There are cows in Kansas that sometimes run across the road, and you have to react.
Is this the Unbound special?
This is expecting the unexpected. I've done Unbound twice myself. It's a beast. It's a beast in and of itself, but when you're doing it at the speeds that these guys are doing it, it's incredible. And it is a mind breaker, and if you're not prepared, it's a backbreaker. It takes a lot of structural integrity to pull it off without wrecking your body.
Cool. We gotta go pick up pizzas.
All right.
Yeah, I'll text you back to you. We'll plan Tuesday at 4.